I bought €100 worth of Perfect Ted products, which is a UK matcha brand promoted by one of the world's most famous podcasts. Now, was it worth it? Let's find out. So, for those of you who don't know or maybe new here, I just recently started a Japanese green tea company with a tea master and Japanese green tea producer in Kagoshima, which is in the southern tip of Japan. And we want to make high quality Japanese green tea available and also its related products. And not only that, but also try to ignite a cultural fusion between the Western and the Japanese culture. And so hopefully create a new green tea experience that the Western crowd can resonate more with and allow more people to be able to enjoy Japanese green tea. With that being said, I've recently decided to pick up the camera to bring you on board and show you kind of the ins and outs since I just started that adventure last year. And so we can share these moments together and grow together. Sometimes we'll also have first-time experiences like this one. Hand on heart, these Perfect Ted products, I've only just researched them and bought them, and obviously did study them a little bit because I had to create this video. But other than that, I haven't tried one single product. So we'll be sharing this first test together. Now, you may also not know that I have a background in advertising, design, and contemporary art. So today, we'll make this interesting, mix it all up, and be evaluating these Perfect Ted products I bought in three main criteria. Value for money, so what did we actually get for these €100? Design and branding, so how's the storytelling, what do we think of the Perfect Ted brand and how they communicate? And obviously, finally, the taste test. What is this matcha experience? Is it high quality? Is it commercial? And let's see how it goes. Now, you may be thinking and asking yourself, what's the hype behind Perfect Ted? Well, have you heard of Steven Bartlett? Or even better, Diary of a CEO? Well, it's a world famous podcast where Steven Bartlett, a famous and successful entrepreneur, has other entrepreneurs and businessmen or experts in their field, like doctors, where they have these very engaging conversations about their journey, their struggles, their mentality, and their vision, and so much more. Where honestly, personally, I listen to like 2-3 episodes a week, and I've always learned something very interesting from it. Now, you may understand my surprise when out of nowhere in one episode I saw this.
In terms of energy, there are so many reasons why I'm a big matcha fan, if you don't already know by now. And so much so that I actually invested in the UK's leading matcha company called Perfect Ted. And one of my favorite Perfect Ted products is these delicious matcha pouches that come in every flavor from salted caramel to peach flavor.
After a quick research, I discovered that Steven Bartlett discovered Perfect Ted on Dragon's Den, which is a TV show similar to Shark Tank, where they receive pitches from small businesses, entrepreneurs. And to this day, he's actually arrived to invest over £1 million. So, I mean, the expectations now for this Perfect Ted products are increasing sizably. But you have to understand that the Japanese green tea market is a niche and always was a niche. I mean, in Japan, it was obviously a big market and it has always been a popular product, but everywhere in the world, not really. So with the recent, popularity of matcha, and also seeing that in recent years, Steven Bartlett has joined this sector and started investing in the matcha and in the green tea sector. I mean, that's pretty interesting and absolutely some attention we're really happy to be having. So it can help actually grow this market. So without further ado, let's get to the first category, value for money. Now, this may give you kind of a streamer feel, but I don't mind that. Might be something interesting to try out. So it's €100, but not really, meaning that it's not a full €100, because when we look at it, it's €42 in shipment and product-wise, it's around 77 euros, 78 euros and 18 euros in taxes, which kind of brings it around 120 euros total. So there is effectively around 70 euro worth of product. And what I did buy is basically this, which is the Dragon's Den bundle. Obviously, I had to go for that. You know, see what the main bundle is about. And then I noticed that there weren't the flavored matcha pouches in this bundle, which was already pretty complete. So I decided to add two, you know, flavors I was interested in trying, which is Juicy Peach, because I think, you know, peach and tea is always an interesting combination to try, and Summer Berry, because personally I kind of like that. All in all, I mean, if you think of it, currently in the European market, they'll be selling small tins like these of 30 grams of matcha, which I've tested it, and probably you'll see some TikToks where I've tested it and they're not that good. They're probably like B tier, if not C tier. And they sell them for around 30 euros. And the better ones, which still you can argue whether it's ceremonial or not, they'll go around for 40, 50 euros. So, I mean, price-wise, to get this much money, this much product for around 78 euros, I mean, it's good value for money, especially for where, you know, the matcha green tea market is right now at its initial stage. But what do we think of the branding of Perfect Ted? Because it has been kind of a problem where, because the products are mainly always imported from Japan, the branding has stayed a Japanese branding and just been imported directly to Europe. So I've always thought, putting my advertising cap on with that, the branding for Japanese green tea products in Europe could be refreshed, and that's what we're doing with our products as well. So let's check it out. So basically, I did some research, and Perfect Ted actually started on Kickstarter. And thankfully, as I'll be showing you now, their Kickstarter page was still open. So I researched a bit, and let's say the messaging was a little bit different at the time. It was really focused on quality, hence probably the branding name Perfected, where they tried to sell you how they did tons of research trying to select the highest quality matcha and how they could have it shelf stable with just 3 ingredients. And then they put aspects of, you know, obviously the health benefits, because it's always a key part of the messaging with matcha, and the small aspect of sustainability. When you look, I'll show you, when you look at also the pricing ranges where they try to promote the product and, you know, sell the advantages to the Kickstarter probably supporters. Their pricing is more or less closer to what I kind of said before, where, you know, the 30 grams, they try to indicate a value for that of around $34, and not around the, let's say, $12 that you can see now that they have on their website. So, I mean, they've changed pretty significantly. Obviously, I guess when industrialization happens and they've become a brand where they're mainly selling to, you know, like big supermarket and big chains like Tesco's, and they've kind of abandoned, like, you know, the niche. Even in Dragon's Den, they've approached the dragons or the investors by letting them taste their energy drinks and not their, you know, their matcha powders. So that's one thing. When you think of it, I actually like the Perfect Ted brand. It's the Perfected, the Perfected play is actually a very interesting play on words. It also leaves the door open out to like the possibility of future diversification, like you're not tied to the matcha. If there was the matcha inside the brand name, you know, you'd kind of be limited to using only matcha or green tea related activities, and then you wouldn't be able to change. The other thing I've noticed a lot that they stress, if you look at this or if you look at their set, and this says great taste, and which is basically, and in all of their pouches, they stress this ceremonial grade aspect, which, you know, I've noticed recently that basically so many matcha products and so many brands are using this term ceremonial grade willy-nilly and completely free of use, because honestly, there's no requirement to be able to put this on your product as of right now. And I've discussed this with like my business partner, and the real ceremonial grade is actually rarely sold commercially, because it's such a high grade and it's only used for the tea ceremonies. And my tea master and business partner, we had the chat about this, and he said, if you really were to try to put a ceremonial grade tea in, sell it to the general public, it would probably cost around 100 euros or more. So that tells you what real ceremonial grade tea is. Nonetheless, there is a lot of responsibility that comes with putting ceremonial grade, because yeah, everybody can use it, but you're not gonna want to use it, because otherwise you're just lying as a company if your matcha is actually not good. It's a bit of a cop-out in my opinion, like putting it on a flavored pouch, Steven Bartlett, because you can't really test the real taste of the matcha, especially when you look at the ingredients. It's coconut sugar, ceremonial grade Japanese matcha, natural flavorings, and coconut milk. So it's not really just matcha. So it's going to be hard to test the product, the real quality of the matcha. But fortunately, we did, in this kit, there should also be the pure matcha, which should be the same matcha, and there we'll figure it out. So now's finally the time where we've all been waiting for. How good are these products? Let's have a small unboxing first, and then we'll, try probably the matcha first, because I already have the set for it, an energy drink, and then we'll prepare, because there are specific instructions to preparing the flavored matcha, which it says, I'm gonna first try it with water, then milk. I have some oat milk, and so we'll try the two versions. Now, let's open this is the matcha starter kit from the Dragon's Den bundle. And if we open it, I haven't opened this yet. This is what we get. So, this is actually pretty interesting. So we get the perfect set for the perfect matcha, it says. Now we get the Perfect Ted Matcha, which is extremely important. Ceremonial grade organic matcha, so we're gonna try this. We get a spoon, which is nicely sealed, so we can use this. There's also instructions to this. 1 scoop tablespoon matcha, which is, I guess it's this, 60 ml of water, whisk, and that's that. And what we also get, which I actually think is great value for money at this point, if I understood this well, we also get the perfect whisk. USB cable to charge the perfect whisk. And this is actually a really nice touch. Feeling frothy. And there it is, an electric whisk. Will it have energy? Will it have battery? It actually does, so we can use it. Nice. Nice, very, very nice. The pouches are pouches, as you've probably already seen. I'll show them again. But basically, it's the fruit version of, basically if I put them down here, it's, the original matcha version, the ceremonial grade, the pure matcha, and then there's these pouches. This is a smart thing, to keep the doses really to a small amount, because once you open it and matcha comes in contact with air, it's going to start to oxidate and consume much faster, and the quality is going to start dropping. So you're going to have to drink it pretty fast in maximum 2-3 weeks if you want the best experience. Then you can keep on drinking it, but if you want the best experiences, that's what it is. If you look at here, it tells you to make a milk matcha, basically a latte. It doesn't suggest, the ideal suggestion is not with tea. Here, instead, it just suggests, if you look at it, it just suggests the instructions to make a pure matcha with water. So we'll be doing this. Now, this is the pack of healthy energy drinks. It has a tear here. This has a tear here, which is very handy. So let's see how this works. And voila! Let's put these matchas here. Voila! The flavors we have is very interesting. Apple raspberry, pear ginger. This is good. So we have 6 apple raspberries, 3 pear gingers, and 3 pineapple yuzus. This is gonna be interesting. Let's try an apple raspberry. The smell, I don't smell nothing matcha at all, but we'll see that. This is the ingredients. I don't know if you can see it. Let's try it. It does taste like tea. It tastes more like infused tea. What I do like, which I kind of was afraid of when I smelled it, because that's what it felt like, was it could be too sweet, but actually it's not that sweet at all. Like, it's a pretty contained sweetness. I don't mind it. It could do better in terms of, I don't feel like I'm drinking matcha. It feels like I'm drinking some sparkling iced tea. But it feels healthier than the usual energy drinks, because it's not that sweet. It says 12 calories per 100 mLs. This is 250. So basically you're not even gonna arrive to 100 calories with this whole can. My vote for this, out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. Next up, we're actually finally trying the ceremonial matcha. Now, I've been waiting for this, because this is the real deal. Like, it's been sold for around 12 euro-ish, 13 if you round it up. So I'm interested. Like, 13 euro, like, the expectation is not that high. But I mean, you did put ceremonial on it. So I'm expecting, then again, so I have to expect it to be good. Without further ado, let's try it. Smell-wise, it's promising. This is our matcha. I opened last week, so it still should be quite fresh. Wow. Color-wise, it's pretty promising. Like, if I can show you quickly. Not too dissimilar. This is our matcha and this is Perfect Ted. Let's try it finally. 2 to 3 grams. Our usual routine, which is to spread it out and then start whisking vertically, side to side. Foam-wise, not bad. Good foam. Still going pretty strong right now, but taste-wise, let's check it out. Itadakimasu. There are two sides to this. There's a very good side, which bad or lower quality matchas, it can be bitter and it can be too leafy, almost taste and smell like fresh cut grass, which in this case, it's not such a good thing for matcha. This doesn't have it, which is good. Even when you smell it, it has a good aroma to it. But on the other side, it feels like it's a bit cut off. Like, if you can think of matcha flavor to have a whole dimension because it's a balance between the tannins, the caffeines, and the catechins, which create a bit of astringency, bitterness, sweetness, and then the umami, and it happens. Feels like the umami and the sweetness part is missing. So it feels lopsided, but I have to be honest. 12 euros or 13 or whatever it is, it's under 20 euros. Matcha like this, wow. I mean, just for the price, I probably have to give it a 9 out of 10. I mean, bravo, Perfect Ted. Cioè, complimenti. It's, for the price range, it's an incredibly good matcha. Now let's move to the flavored ones. Which shall we start with? Summer berry, which is different. So for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna try one and I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna first try and taste it as a normal matcha, prepared the same way as I just did there. And then we'll have a cortado, which is a half tablespoon, 2.5 grams with 100 ml of milk, which is more or less what we're working with. Be right back. So here we are, summer berry matcha. Put this on a plate as well. Wow, okay. Okay, it already smells much sweeter. I mean, obviously, summer berry. But when you look at it, it does feel a bit more sandy. But I mean, not too different, I think. A bit lighter in color, seems a bit, you could think the matcha's a bit lower quality, but maybe it's just because it's mixed with the coconut. 2.5, we'll prepare, well, let's do 3 and 130 like we just did before. Same procedure, let's even this out. So I'll just give it a shake. I mean, you can already smell the sweetness out. As you can see, no foam, so the matcha factor is much lower. No foam at all. If you take the matcha of before, color is similar, but itadakimasu. I don't know, I'm not too convinced by this. I get this because it's an energy drink. It's sparkling, so it's going to maybe feel more like infused tea, but it's still a drink. Prepared this way, which honestly I have to admit, I kind of went against the grain because it's not written and nor recommended here. Classically prepared flavored matcha, I'm gonna have to give this 3 out of 10. I don't get it. Maybe it might change drastically with milk, and this is what I'm going to try right now. It doesn't say warm milk at all, actually. It just said blend, whisk, or shake to mix. We'll go 2.5. This is the milk I have, because this one, secret tip, makes incredible foam when you make matcha lattes. Druk, druk. And let's go. This is the cortado, as they call it on the packaging. I have to admit, like, the smell of it is actually pretty good. Now, surprisingly enough, well, this is a more foamy milk anyways. It does look better and more foamy now here. Itadakimasu. A bit better. It definitely makes more sense. Like, I taste the berry a bit more. I kind of taste the matcha a bit more. I mean, if you taste it with water. No, this just tastes like infused tea, tasteless tea. This actually, it makes it a bit sweeter, makes a bit more sense. It's still a bit weak, so generally I'm gonna give this 5 out of 10. So it is a quick fix for matcha if you need it. It's not a matcha experience. So overall, I have to say, I was incredibly surprised by the ceremonial matcha, their authentic matcha. I mean, I'm still gonna taste it again to double check, but yeah. For the price they have, it's not full and complete. I'm not too sure it's ceremonial, but it's still a very good matcha and worth the price, even worth a little bit more probably. The flavored powdered matcha, I'm not sure what they're trying to get with this. I mean, if you prepare with water, you don't really taste the flavor. If you prepare with milk, I get a bit more. It's a quick fix, but at that point, you just get the ceremonial matcha and make a latte out of it, and you can customize it with your syrup of choice, and I think you get a better experience. This is interesting. Kudos to them for actually getting this out. This is actually probably their strongest product together with their ceremonial matcha. It's a very commercial line, meaning that the flavor profile is not really high, but the prices are also not that high as well. I mean, all of this was 77 euros if you take out taxes and shipping, so pretty impressive. Overall, I have to say, some hits and some misses, but Perfect Ted is a good product. However, I have to be completely honest. I'm loving that the matcha space is going in this direction and it's evolving this way. It still kind of feels like they're keeping the word and using the word for its popularity and without really maintaining the flavorful experience that matcha can give. But other than that, thank you very much. I hope this, even if this was a bit long, it was helpful enough for you to understand what the Perfect Ted products offer and how it is in terms of a green tea experience coming from a Japanese side. And we'll see you at the next one. I mean, this was a very interesting experience and a first time for me too. Ciao.